What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Aram for once again showing love with the donation to the channel via the PayPal. I remember your last donation, and I haven't forgotten the video requests. I'm still catching up with videos. Today I should be caught up with videos and video requests. But thank you guys for your patience on that. But much respect to Aaron for showing love to the channel. Long time subscriber and supporter of Too Raw for TV and Too Raw for Sports. And lover of the old school. So, of course, on my other channel today, earlier I talked about the breaking news that the Memphis Grizzlies are parting ways with Dillon Brooks. So Kendrick Perkins of ESPN talked about it on Twitter, and in his opinion, the Grizzlies are throwing Dillon Brooks under the bus, saying, okay, I see what's going on in Memphis. They're making Dillon Brooks the fall guy. BS. That free culture is who they've been the last 3 years. Wasn't a problem until they got embarrassed. Leadership needs some of that smoke too. Carry on. Now, look, I understand the argument that some people are making. It wasn't a good look that Memphis was the second seed and lost in the first round to the seventh seed. All right, that's almost as bad as Milwaukee losing to the eighth seed. Almost. I get that. But I think most people felt like the Lakers had a good chance at beating Memphis. Okay? This wasn't your normal seventh seed versus second seed scenario. Because the Lakers got a lot for Russell Westbrook. A lot. And they've picked up some integral free agent signings over the last couple of months. They have a vastly different team than the one they had beginning of this year. Not to mention the fact that, let's be honest, the Lakers have been beneficiaries of some interesting calls the past couple of months. I mean, it's funny how a J.J. Redick or a Skip Bayless can intimate to their audience that the Kings are getting beneficial calls, or the Warriors are getting beneficial calls. Steph Curry is getting beneficial calls. But if you commit the cardinal sin on social media and pointing out a 2-month-long obvious trend where the Lakers are shooting 11 free throws attempts per game more than their opponent, even when the Lakers only ranked 26th in the NBA out of 30 teams in drives per game during that stretch, well, then you're considered a conspiracy theorist. So I said all that just to get that out the way. At the end of the day, it wasn't that big an upset that Memphis lost to the Lakers. Matter of fact, I think some people had the Lakers picked to beat Memphis. Memphis has never shown themselves to be a consistent team. And even though Ja Morant is considered a superstar, there's something to be said about Memphis when Ja's not playing. I don't think they're a better team without Ja Morant. But they do seem to move the ball around better without Ja Morant. They seem to be a better defensive team without Ja Morant. and their offense isn't as explosive, but they're a little bit more. They're a lot more unpredictable offensively without John Morant. All right, Dylan Brooks is not, and I have to say this again. He is not Draymond Green, and I don't even think Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer. But at least Draymond Green has championship experience. Draymond Green can run an offense. He's intelligent. He does have a high basketball IQ. And he's a really, really good facilitator. All right? I just don't think that he's a Hall of Fame talent. I think he's more of a Robert Horry type dude. All right? Somewhere in that range. Dylan Brooks, he can't shoot at all. He lacks size. Like a guy like Draymond Green, he lacks his size. He can talk, but it's one thing when you talk, and your game is out there. You're dominating. People don't mind if you can talk like Dennis Rodman, or do all those other things Dennis Rodman, doing all the extracurricular shit, but you're out there getting 20 rebounds a night. People don't mind when you're doing that. But when you're out there doing all that talking and you're getting burnt, or you only shoot 33% from the floor in a series and 21% from three, that's not a really good thing. But Kendrick Perkins, saying that they're throwing him on the bus or making him the fall guy, but you do that all the time with Kyrie Irving. You do that all the time with Kyrie Irving. You've done it with him in Boston. You definitely did it with him in Brooklyn. And you and most of the mainstream media are doing that to him in Dallas. I thought that was supposed to be Luka's team. But all of a sudden, when they're not winning, now it's Kyrie Irving's fault. When in reality, like you said, it's the organization. It's Dallas. It's Mark Cuban giving up on the season prematurely. It's Mark Cuban not making the most of that roster, not forcing, or at least the front office, not forcing Jason Kidd to play those bigs more, Christian Wood in particular. The trade ruined the Dallas Mavericks' depth, and the trades made Dallas a worse team defensively, which exposed Luka's defense even more. It has really nothing to do with Kyrie Irving. But you guys threw him under the bus. You guys threw him under the bus in Brooklyn, made it seem like he was the problem. You guys ruined his character, made him out to be some type of bad person because you didn't like his stances on things outside of basketball. You accused him of lying in Boston about an injury. Challenged his leadership. So who are you to sit there and talk about somebody being thrown on the bus? Seriously? Hell, you've thrown your own teammates on the bus. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, especially Kevin Durant. That was your teammate, man. A dude that you played with. And you threw him on the bus for ESPN. You call him your brother, but he blocked you because you betrayed him. You talking about somebody getting thrown on the bus. You threw all your NBA brothers on the bus for a paycheck. At least Shaq, I'm going to tell you why I got more respect for Shaq than I do Kendrick Perkins. If you remember when Shaq became an analyst in 2011, I believe it was, right? Shaq was, if you remember back then, he probably still had the mindset of being a player. And a lot of the guys in the NBA that at the time he had played with. So Shaq was a lot more, diplomatic, I guess, with his criticisms. Because he knew a lot of those guys. He played with some of those guys. that were out there. A lot of those guys are still playing there. But now we're in 2023, and Shaq is more critical. Why? Because he's been an analyst now for over a decade. And the guys that are playing today, most of these, I think the only guy that's still playing that he played with was LeBron. Everybody else he's played with is out of the league. So now he feels more freer to say how you really feel. But you didn't do that, Kendrick. You start sending dudes on the bus immediately. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just my thoughts at least, man. I think he's been a big hypocrite, but tell me what you guys think.